Now in this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of really quick tricks for getting that muted color effect, almost kind of like this Instagram look on your photos, to kind of give it a little bit of style to it, a little vintage feel to it as well. And it's really quite simple. It's just a matter of a couple of layers. So the first thing is, I've got this photo here, and it's just kind of a selfie thing. You know, it's very common for people to do this to photos of family or a selfie picture or something like that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of the background layer. I'm just going to press Command J. And for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and turn that duplicate layer off, and we're going to reselect the original layer. And we're going to go into the filter menu and go down here to blur and choose average. Now what this is going to do is look at the overall dominant tone or color of the image and then fill the layer with that color. And you can see it's almost like a taupey color. But I need it to be a dark color. And so when you're in the case of applying this effect to a light image like this, it's probably going to give you a light color fill when you do the average blur. But I'm just going to go ahead and press Command I, and that's going to give me the complementary of that color, which is kind of a darker bluish color. So I'm going to turn that original layer back on, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop the layer opacity to about 75. And that diffuses the color somewhat, and we're using information relative to that photo. We're blending it with a color that's made from the inverse of the overall bright color of the image. And now I'm going to add a couple of adjustment layer effects to it. So first thing is we're going to go in the adjustment layer menu, and first thing we're going to add is a photo filter. Now the default filter is fine, the warming filter 85, but what I am going to do is increase the density to 100%. It's going to give us an overall dominant yellow cast on the image there, but we are going to go ahead and change the blend mode of this adjustment layer to soft light. It kind of gives me this kind of yellow look about it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another adjustment layer, and we're going to go and do levels this time. And we're going to go ahead and take the black output slider and push this in to really kind of give it a washed out look about it. And we're going to do that, set it at around 75, 80 on the output levels here, but we're also going to take the highlight or the shadow slider and push it in just to boost the contrast a little bit more. So it helps bring back the contrast, a little bit of the color that was lost doing that. But notice the difference here. If I turn the layer on and off, the shadow areas have gotten a little bit lighter. The rest of the colors are quite a bit more muted, and we're getting this kind of aged vintage look about it. Now if you wanted to add one more element to this, as just a little bit of a special effect, go ahead and add a new blank layer at the very top. And let's go ahead and get the gradient tool. I'm just going to go ahead and get a red color here, this kind of deep red that's in the swatch panel here. And just with a radial gradient, just draw, starting from just outside the image here on the upper left, and just drag out the gradient on the background there. But then I'm going to change the blend mode of this to screen. And then it gives me that kind of almost like a flare on it, like an old photo effect there. So you can bring that opacity of that layer down a little bit. And that is pretty much it. So in just a few steps, we've taken our regular snapshot of an image and really given it this kind of stylized, muted color effect. I've seen this on a lot of websites and such as a homepage image and such like that, but you can achieve that effect really quickly and easily just with a few adjustment layers.